Hi, Team 31. Okay, so earlier today I posted that on Class Dojo that I was going to be doing read alouds now. Um, this is just because honestly we don't know how much longer. I mean, school's going to be closed with everything going on in the news. It's a little scary. I know you guys have been asking me like, is it going to be longer than 2 weeks? Is it going to be longer than a month? I don't know, but I feel like as much as we can do now before we go back to school, the better. So, we're gonna actually finish Esperanza Rising online. So let me kind of discuss that first and then do the read aloud, and then I'll discuss what's gonna happen after. So, we're gonna start where we left off in class on Friday. And that was on the second to last chapter, Peaches. And I'm going to read the rest of that chapter today. And then right after you watch this, go on Google Classroom and there's a quiz. And that quiz will be taken down on Friday. So you'll have today and tomorrow to finish it. But if you don't finish it by Friday, it'll be gone and you'll have no grade for it. So you're going to listen to the read aloud. You can take notes if you want. It's not necessary, but you can. Because you can always replay this if you need to know what to answer for the quiz. So basically what I'm doing is on Google Classroom, the same two questions that you have in your packet at school are going to be the questions that you answer on the Google Doc. And it's just a short answer question. I always tell you guys a paragraph, so like 5 sentences at least to answer both questions. And they're pretty easy questions because we really discussed this a whole lot. So please make sure that you go on Google Classroom after you watch this and answer the questions so that you get a grade. Okay, I know it's not on your packet, but this is what we're going to start doing. Luckily, after we finish Esperanza this week, next week, I'm going to actually start doing read alouds of Wonder every night, and you're going to have a quiz or a project or something the next day. So we're going to be reading Wonder for our next book. I'm really excited to be reading this with you guys. I'm going to try to find a free PDF online to send you guys so you can follow along on your computers and even read it on your own if you really wish to. But let's start with Esperanza Rising. So last time we read in class, we were talking about Isabel being queen of the Mayflower and how we talked about how she was really excited to do that because she had the best grades in the class and all of that. But we also knew that it wasn't going to happen because they told Esperanza like she's like her hopes are really up, but it never happens. It's never a little Mexican girl. It's never any person of color. It's always remember they talked about the Japanese girl that had the highest grades and she didn't get to be queen of the Mayflower. Like they always pick a white person who has blonde hair, blue eyes, like they never pick anybody else, no matter if they do better than that person. They pick them on looks, even though they tell them they pick them by grades, right? So we talked about that in class and the unfair treatment that they were going through and how race really has a lot to do with it. We talked about how, Miguel left because these people from Oklahoma, these white people from Oklahoma were coming to California and the farmers were giving them all the jobs. They were giving them all the jobs because they were white. And so we've been talking about all this unfair treatment because of the color of people's skin and where they come from. The last place where we left off was Isabel didn't win Queen of the Mayflower, and she's devastated when she comes to tell Esperanza, and Esperanza gives her the doll that her father gave her that she keeps in her, her belongings. And Isabel says, "Are you sure you want to give this to me? Like, what will your mother say?" And Esperanza's like, "Of course I want to give this to you." Esperanza at this point I think is really being like the mother figure. She's showing, Isabel that she cares about her and loves her. So that's kind of where we left off. I'm just going to read it. I know you guys can't follow along, but make sure you're really listening. And then that way, when you take the quiz right after this, or I shouldn't say quiz, but when you answer the discussion questions you'll know how to answer them. All right, so here we go. Esperanza and Hortensia waited in the doctor's office. Hortensia sat and tapped her foot, and Esperanza paced, looking at the diplomas on the wall. Finally, the door swung open and the doctor walked in, then scooted behind his desk and sat down. Esperanza, I have good news, he said. Your mother's health has improved, and she'll be well enough to leave the hospital in a week. She is still a little depressed, but I think she needs to be around all of you. Please remember, though, that once she goes home, she will have to rest to build up her strength. There is still a chance of a relapse. Remember, relapse we defined as being a word where somebody gets better. There's still a chance that they can go back to feeling how they were before, that they can go back to feeling as bad as they felt before. So they still have to rest and build up strength. Esperanza started laughing and crying at the same time. Mama was coming home. For the first time in 5 months since Mama had entered the hospital, Esperanza's heart felt lighter. The doctor smiled. She has been asking for her crochet needles and yarn. You can see her now for a few minutes if you like. Esperanza ran down the hospital halls with Hortensia behind her to Mama's bedside, where they found her sitting up in bed. Esperanza flung her arms around her Mama. Mama hugged her and then held her at arm's length and studied her. Oh, Esperanza, how you've grown. You look so mature. Mama still looked thin, but not so weak. Esperanza felt her forehead, and there was no fever. Mama laughed at her. It wasn't a strong laugh, but Esperanza loved the sound. Hortensia pronounced that her color was good and promised to purchase more yarn so that it would be waiting when she came home. You would not believe your daughter, Ramona. She always gets called to work in the sheds. She cooks now and takes care of the babies as well as their own mother. Mama reached up, pulled Esperanza to her chest, and hugged her. I am so proud of you. Esperanza hugged Mama back. When the visiting hour was over, she hated to leave, but kissed Mama and said her goodbyes, promising to tell her everything as soon as she came home. All week they prepared for Mama's homecoming. Hortensia and Josefina scrubbed the little cabin until it was almost antiseptic. Esperanza washed all the blankets and propped the pillows in the bed. Juan and Alfonso cushioned a chair and several crates under the shade trees so that Mama could recline outside during the hot afternoon. On Saturday, as soon as Esperanza helped Mama from the truck, she wanted a quick tour of Papa's roses, and she got weepy when she saw the blooms. Visitors came all afternoon, but Hortensia would only let people stay a few minutes. Then she shooed them away for fear Mama wouldn't get her rest. That night, Isabel showed Mama the doll and how she was taking care of it, and Mama told her that she thought Isabel and the doll belonged together. When it was time for bed, Esperanza carefully lay down next to Mama, hoping she wouldn't disturb her. But Mama moved closer and put her arms around Esperanza and held her tightly. Mama, Miguel is gone, she whispered. I know, mija, Hortensia told me. But Mama, it was my fault. I got angry and told him he was still a peasant, and then he left. It could not have been all your fault. I'm sure he knows you didn't mean it. He'll come back soon. He couldn't be away from his family for long. They were quiet. Mama, we've been away from Abuelita for almost a year, said Esperanza. I know, said Mama quietly. It does not seem possible. But I've saved money. We can bring her back soon. Do you want to see how much? Before Mama could answer, Esperanza turned on the light, checking to make sure she hadn't woken Isabel. She tiptoed to the closet and took out her pocketbook. She grinned at Mama, knowing how proud she would be of all the money orders. She opened it, and her mouth dropped open. She couldn't believe what she saw. She tipped the pocketbook upside down and shook it hard. It was empty. The money orders were gone. So, that's the end of that chapter. And tomorrow I'll read the last chapter of Esperanza. But, what do we think happened? Who took the money? How is it missing? She leaves it in the same place all the time. Who could have seen her and who could have taken it? And why would they have taken it knowing what she's using it for, right? So I don't know. If you have any guesses, comment and let me know who you think took the money, because we don't know. Maybe it was Miguel because he left all of a sudden. Who knows? So please go straight to Google Classroom. Go and answer those short answer questions. If you need any help, I'll try and find a PDF of Esperanza too, and I'll post it so that you guys can look through that as well. I love you guys and I miss you. It's been really hard not being able to talk to all of you every day and check in with you all. So hopefully you guys are staying updated and know what's going on, and we'll hopefully be together very, very soon. But stay healthy and safe and enjoy this time that you have with your families at home. All right, my friends, have a good one.